it's natural to wonder whether someone new in your life might become very important. The reality is that there's no reliable way to know this from the beginning. Most life-changing relationships only become obvious in hindsight. Still, there are some patterns that often show up early when someone later becomes influential in your life. We'll talk about these patterns first, and then we'll discuss the subtle signs of how to spot them later in the video. So stay tuned.
Number 1, pay attention to the vibe. Ask yourself, after interacting with this person you just met seconds ago, do conversations feel easy and natural even if you just met him or her? Do they challenge your thinking in a positive way, not in a rude way? In my opinion, this is a very important pattern to recognize. Do you leave interactions feeling energized or inspired? People who end up shaping our paths often expand how we think, not just agree with us. Number 2, look for shared values. Interests or hobbies can be surface level, but values predict long-term impact, signs to watch out for. We have similar attitudes toward growth, learning, work ethic, respect for integrity and accountability, a mindset of improvement and possibility. People aligned in values tend to become collaborators, mentors, or long-term allies. Do you agree? Please write your comment below if you agree or disagree. Pattern number 3 in our subtle signs, someone new might become important in your life. Notice their supportiveness. Influential people often naturally have a tendency to uplift others. Notice if they share knowledge freely, introduce you to ideas or people, encourage your skill or talent potential. You've got it in there. And they offer you constructive feedback when you request it. Influential people tend to build others up rather than compete or diminish your goals or ambitions. Number 4, watch how they handle small commitments. Big roles are predicted by small reliability signals. For example, do they keep promises? Are they consistent in communication? Do they follow through? Consistency early often predicts trust later. And number 5, observe whether growth happens around them. Some people act like growth accelerators. Ask yourself, do I think bigger after talking with them? Like after talking to them, you feel so motivated and super pumped. That's a great sign. Do they expose you to new opportunities, skills, or perspectives? Do they make you raise your standards? Wow! These are common traits of mentors, partners, and powerful collaborators. So feel lucky when you meet them. Number 6, but also accept the serendipity factor. Many pivotal relationships start very ordinary. A casual coworker, a random introduction by someone you almost didn't talk to but connected anyways. The importance only becomes clear months or years later. So the best strategy is actually treat every new person with curiosity and respect. You never know which relationships will compound over time. A useful mindset, I think, when meeting new people, instead of asking, will this person change my life? Is this someone worth investing my time and trust in? Do you see me or this channel as valuable? Am I good enough to be added to your subscription or playlist? I do value your investment, your time, watching every video all the way to the end, commenting, liking, and sharing. Thank you so much. I hope you consider me as someone worth investing your time and trust. Another question to ask yourself is, do we help each other grow? These questions lead to forming relationships that eventually become pivotal. We'll come back to these later. To add more subtle signals, you can often notice within the first few conversations that suggests someone might later become an important ally, mentor, collaborator, or influence in your life. I have to put a little disclaimer. None of these guarantee anything, but they show high potential for meaningful impact. First, they are curious about your thinking, not just your resume. Most casual conversations stay on the surface. Where do you work? What do you do? Where are you from? People who later become influential often ask deeper questions like, why did you choose that path? What are you trying to build long term? What excites you most about that idea? This shows they are interested in how you think, not just surface level emojis and your status on Facebook. And if they follow up the next day or the next week after our first conversation, then, personally, I usually add them to my sphere of influence spreadsheet under the VIP people list. So that's just one way of organizing new people I meet on a daily basis. Number 2, they naturally expand the conversation. You'll notice something interesting. The conversation keeps evolving into bigger ideas. For example, it might move from your job, then industry trends, future opportunities, philosophical ideas about success or impact, cause and effect. People who play big roles in our lives often expand the scope of thinking very quickly. They share insight and opinions. Pay attention to how they communicate. Influential people tend to say things like, one mistake I made early on was da-da-da-da-da, and some of them would say something like, what I learned from that experience was, so that means they're opening and they're sharing inside information about their experience. So become a good listener. And another way it could possibly show up is when they say something like, a useful way to think about this is they are the type of people who likes to share their background, whatever industry they're from. Or maybe you're the one saying to another person you take interest in mentoring. They share lessons and frameworks and casual opinions about their experiences. Keep tabs, follow up. Number 4, they show this type of builder energy. Okay, super pump are the closest words I can describe them. These people tend to be creating something. Projects, businesses, research, communities, ideas. Even if they have not completed a project yet, you can sense they are moving forward to their goal and they inspire you. Builders' energies attract and elevate others on the same path. Number 5, you feel slightly upgraded after talking to them. It's like their energy rubs off on you. One of the strongest subtle signals is they recognize that after interacting with them, you might feel more motivated, intellectually stimulated, curious about new possibilities, challenged in a productive way. It's part charisma and part mental expansion. Stop and ponder. Do I want to keep learning from this person? Why not? Because after every conversation, they make me think bigger. Our conversations expand. Relationships that expand intellectually and emotionally are the ones that eventually become pivotal. There's actually a psychological phenomenon where the people who change our lives often trigger a very specific early feeling. Many successful founders and leaders mention this. The 10-minute impressions that many high performers notice when meeting someone important for the first time. It's surprisingly consistent, they say. Many high performers, founders, and leaders describe something informally called the 10-minute signal. It's not rocket science to figure this out, but there's a pattern people often notice when they meet someone who later becomes important in their life. Here's what typically happens in those first 10 minutes. The conversation skips small talk quickly. Instead of staying in the usual, where are you from? What do you do? The conversation naturally jumps into ideas, goals, or meaningful topics very fast. Have you met such a person? You might suddenly be talking about ambitions, problems you want to solve, future plans, deeper interest. It feels like the conversation exhilarates unusually quickly in those first 10 minutes. There's mutual intellectual curiosity. Both people start asking thoughtful questions, exploratory ones, like what got you interested in this? What got you interested in that? How do you see that changing in the future? What would you build if resources weren't a limitation? It feels like two minds exploring ideas together, rather than polite networking. Time feels compressed, a very common sign. You talk for what feels like 10 to 15 minutes, then realize, wow, I've been talking for almost an hour. When conversations feel mentally engaging, time perception shrinks, and then you notice complementarity. You may quickly sense that your skills complement theirs. Your interests intersect. Your perspective challenge each other productively. You might think something like working with this person could be interesting. This thought can appear very early on, and the conversation continues easily. At the end of the interaction, neither person is rushing to leave. There are many unfinished threads. Both feel like more could be explored. The interaction feels like the start of something. And here's an important truth. Even when these signals appear, the relationship only becomes important if both people keep investing in it. Most life-changing relationships develop because someone follows up, someone collaborates, someone maintains contact over time.
Potential alone isn't enough. Keep this in mind at all times. Focus on recognizing high-quality interactions and nurturing them. Because the people who shape your future usually come from that small group of conversations that felt unusually meaningful early on.
As an added value, I'd like to add a few structured resources that help you discover people worth researching or connecting with. Subscribe to my newsletter and receive information regarding where you can possibly meet new friends, new meetups, and new connections. As far as books, I love reading too, so here are my favorites. The book Give and Take by Adam Grant explores networking styles and how generosity can lead to influence. The Power of Who by Bob Budin. It's a unique concept about the small circle of people most likely to shape your path. Although these books do not have a list of people for networking, it might help you build the skills to reach the right ones, and sometimes you can use the book as a start conversation piece with someone. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed another episode of Head of Household. Let's be friends on social media. Please like, subscribe, follow, and say hello.